friends, and welcome to episode 174 of The Rewind, a podcast dedicated to keeping its listeners on the cutting edge of the upcoming MMORPG, Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. As we creep closer to the start of early access, Draq and I always want to take a moment to thank everyone for joining us to discuss this most exciting time in Pantheon's history. Your time is appreciated, and we are grateful that you choose to spend it with us. Also, exciting times for the Static Group Live channel. As we stated last week, our guild Greybox is ramping up to be a dominant pillar of the Pantheon community, a guild known for being as helpful as possible and being above the exploits. If that's something you're interested in being a part of, the link to the application is in the description below. On the streaming side of things, our YouTube channel can once again accept subscriptions and super chats. If you don't like Patreon for whatever reason, you now have a choice in if you want to help support us in what we do. It is never required, but the money is used to fund the software we subscribe to and give back to the community through giveaways. As always, please click the like and subscribe buttons to help with the algorithm. With EA launching in a week and a half, we need your help to push the show to new listeners. People will be looking to get all the info they can, and we want to be their source of it, and a little laughter on the side as well. Lastly, I want everyone to just take a step back. If you've been around since Brad penciled the idea of Pantheon on a napkin, or just joined us last week, we are on the precipice of a momentous occasion. Though we won't get that game day launch that Draq was hoping for, this is still a huge moment for all the fans of classically spirited MMOs. For those who berated the game, calling it a scam, saying it would never come out, to those who continue to say the game has the graphics of 2004. I want to thank every single one of you for letting Pantheon live rent-free in your brains and appreciate your support that kept us hungry for the game we wanted over the last decade. No, it's not done, but we will enjoy our game and help Visionary Realms in any way we can to see its release. Oh, and also, nanny nanny boo boo, stick your head in doo-doo. Now, on with the show!
Under the pale moonlight, the party gathered around a crackling fire in a forest clearing. Ziploc sharpened his daggers in silence, while Anton whispered incantations to fortify their warding glyphs. Archbishop stood guard, his hammer glinting ominously in the flickering light. Screech's lute plucked out a haunting tune, its notes blending with the rustling leaves. "You hear that?" Annoying Llama muttered, peering into the darkness. Churadude's small fingers danced as he summoned a flickering light orb, which drifted into the shadows, revealing glowing yellow eyes. A bone-chilling howl echoed. The pack struck fast, their sleek forms a blur as they broke through the tree line. Archbishop bellowed a prayer, his shield smashing against a lunging wolf, sending it skidding back. Ziplocs melted into the shadows, reappearing behind the alpha wolf to deliver a precise strike. Annoying Llama spun and kicked, his fluid movements felling the two wolves with a flurry of blows. Screech unleashed a dissonant chant that sent the remaining wolves scrambling. Anton's glyph flared, encasing the alpha in vines, while Churadude summoned a fiery hound to drive the pack away. As silence returned, the party exchanged wary glances. Next time, Annoying Llama quipped, "Let's camp in a cave."
This week in Visionary Realms News and Notes.
All right, Dymlos, are you ready for a little internal housekeeping?
I love internal housekeeping. That's my favorite thing to talk about. Us. I love talking about us.
We cannot stop talking about us. Can we just make this the Draq and Dymlos podcast and forget the Pantheon stuff?
It kind of already is, let's be honest. More than half the show is us doing that top 5 and talking about stuff we want to. Pokemon. Just kidding. I promise I won't talk about Pokemon today. I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk about Pokemon every show.
Every show. You might as well just get used to it. Well, I would just like to say that by this Saturday, by the time you're listening to this amazing podcast, we are actually going to become a podcast again.
What?
Not like this fake YouTube podcasting, but we're going to be across all the things. We're going to be on Apple. We're going to be on Spotify. We're going to be on all the things. So that's, it's kind of exciting. It took us a hot minute to kind of put that together.
I mean, I think there's something to be said about making sure that this show was going to be viable. Once big names like Theric and Minus left, it's like, who knows if this show is going to continue and people are going to actually listen to you and me. I mean, we're just dumb. So like the fact that 500 to 800 people a week still watch us on YouTube is awesome. So thanks again. I know I said it in the intro, but truly heartfelt. Thank you so much. And we are excited to push this to all the platforms. Are we sure about Apple? They take a long time to approve. You may want to not say Apple. We don't know.
I mean, I don't really know because I haven't actually started the process, but I know that I have the platform in which I'm going to push it out, and it seems like it should work. So hopefully podcasting on podcast platforms should be imminent.
So we've got another 7 years is what you're saying. Wonderful.
No promises. No promises. I have never missed a deadline.
Oh man, we are just, it's spicy today. This show is spicy already.
It's getting for real. Well, let's get back to some Pantheon news.
All right,
Stop talking about us. Let's talk about some Pantheon. The biggest news of last week was the Co stream. Co decided to jump in to some Pantheon, some pre-EA streaming. He streamed for about an hour, which is pretty
par for the course.
Co. Yeah, there's 2 YouTube videos up on his channel because, Co can't put out a long video. He has to have 2 videos.
There is the full VOD as well that's on YouTube. I did see all 3 of them.
Oh, did you?
So, yeah.
It's confusing. His channel has so many videos on it. I don't know.
That's how you get famous, right? You just blast the same thing over and over again, right? Subscribe and like our channel, everybody.
Anyway.
And pay me super chats.
Also, I thought he did a pretty good job. He played a necromancer and then he played a ogre ranger, which I thought was hilarious. And he was engaging with chat. It looked like he was having fun. He was impressed with the progress that has happened. And in general, he had a good time. And it felt like he was having a good time. Like I wasn't watching his stream cringing and like, ooh, that doesn't work, or ooh, that doesn't work, or ooh, I hope he doesn't go over there, or anything like that. Like he was just roaming around doing the new player experience in Pantheon, and it came off really well, and I thought that it was well done. So I think it's really a feather in VR's cap. I really think it's a feather in Co's cap. As much as you are or are not a Co fan, I think this went off well.
Yeah, I mean, Pantheon is never going to get a larger platform. There's nothing they can do, not Steam, not anything, is going to get Pantheon on more eyeballs than what Co can do for this game. I think he defended Pantheon very well. There were several people that came after him. There was one that said he was bought, like that VR bought Co, and he was like, no, my friend, I pay them money.
He's like, this is the worst way to get bought ever when I give them money.
And it's like, that was great. Wonderful. I love when streamers throw back at the chat.
Snap back.
The fluffiness, the everyone's happy stuff. But Co does it so well. I mean, he's a seasoned veteran, right? Like
he's way nicer than we
are.
Oh,
yeah.
We're just like, get the F out.
Well, he basically did say that, but in a super kind way that still gave the heat of get the F out, but also saying, you're a joke, dude. The stuff that you're saying is a joke because you are dumb. Like you have done no research.
Idea what you're talking about.
You are just saying stuff to either gaslight me or to get people in the chat gaslit, which is just so dumb. We were just talking about this before we started recording the podcast, but like the gaming community being pissed at the world, I don't understand it. Like, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate that this game is coming out. If it's not a game for you, great. Then go play WoW and keep your chat in the Barrens. I don't care. Like, that's the game that you want to play. Fine. And people even said that. They're like, I am going to give this game a shot, but if it sucks, I'm just going to go back to WoW and play that forever because I know I can. Wonderful. WoW's a great game. go play it. If this is not the game for you, if you don't want to interact with other human beings on this video game and make friends, try to work your way out with people, good communication and, good gameplay, then that's fine. You don't have to play this game. Thanks for your $40. Thank you for your support. Maybe in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, when this game is done, maybe it will be the game for you because it'll be all fleshed out and it'll be great. But this is still early access, right?
The only cringe I had the whole night was when Co told somebody that they were only going to be in EA for 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if EA is a huge success and they get 100,000 people, then, maybe it will be 2 years. Maybe they'll be able to hire a couple more Kyles and put this game together and get, JN back to a paid salary so he can keep writing lore and get this game rolling. It could be 2 years, but 3, maybe 4.
I could win the lottery too. I mean, that's possible, but not probable. Yeah. And I would never say, I mean, and maybe it's just how people express themselves. I never go with I'm the under promise over deliver guy. That's how I roll.
It's the best way to go, right? Like there's no question. You never want to.
I'm an engineer on the Starship Enterprise, right? I'm always like,
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
Dude, there's no possible way that we can get this done in less than 4 days. You have 25 minutes. We'll see what we can do, Captain.
Totally agree. Though Co is an investor, I wouldn't say he listens to the Rewind on the cutting edge of.
He does not listen to Joppa stream for 8 hours every week. Yeah, okay, he is not on the cutting edge of information.
Yeah, no, it's
you are, because you are an intelligent and smart Pantheon Rise of the Follower.
Oh, well, thank you, Draq.
Because you listen to the Rewind.
Not only do I listen to it, I'm there on the premiere every Saturday talking with everybody in chat too, which you should join us at noon Eastern on Saturdays on YouTube. See how I'm doing that with the Co plugging the same thing over and over again? It's going to work for us, Draq, I swear.
Dude, we should probably just run the Rewind every day of the week.
That's not a bad idea. Like, just, hey, same episode, everybody. Come back and watch it again. Oh, that sounds miserable for everybody. The other one thing I want to mention about the Co stream before we leave is that you talked about the things that you were cringe about. Probably the biggest thing that I was cringe about is, and I hate to say this, but all the people that kept buffing him. Can we show people what the gameplay is actually like? That level 1 is super dangerous. Co shouldn't have lived. He even conned something and was yellow, and he's like, I made a real bad decision here. And he did. He made a really terrible decision, but there was someone waiting in the back that had given him shaman buffs, that was ready to heal him, that bailed him out. This is not your typical gameplay. This is not what's going to happen at any point in your Pantheon career. If you go in by yourself and you fight something that is yellow, you're going to die.
You're going to get your butt kicked.
Yeah, especially at level 1. You're going to die a bunch.
Well, maybe except for me, because I'm almost as big a deal as Co. So, there's probably going to be people following me around.
I like that our community likes to do this. And this is something that is, truly, I do like that our community likes to help buff people at the well. I think that's a real important part of what came from EverQuest, right? That's what made the game so community oriented. And I like that we have that here too. And I want us to be able to buff newbies. But like when you first enter the game, he didn't go to the well. He didn't go to a place where people actually are to get those buffs. He just went and started killing something, but there was already someone there waiting for him because, it's Co. I get it. He gets that, but he's not showing what that level 1 to 3 is like at all. People, hopefully you are a new listener and have never played the game before and you are listening to my words, con everything. You are going to die at level 1. What Co showed you was not accurate. This is a very difficult game, especially if you're going to play like a rogue who has no hit points and no real abilities at level 1. You're going to die. So be careful out there, especially in those early levels.
Yeah, and if you're an enchanter, make sure you group up with a wizard. That's a hot tip for all you enchanters out there.
Yeah, no joke.
Level 1's a little rough for you.
Yeah.
All right, Dymlos. Well, we have a server list for
Nice.
EA. Are you excited about the server list?
Absolutely. I need to see where people are going to land so I can avoid those servers altogether.
We were talking about it the other night, me and Gulo, and it's hilarious because he's like, yeah, all these guilds are waiting to see where all the other guilds go before they commit to where they're going to go. So it's this giant game of chicken to see who's going to pick the server they're going to be on first. And then all the other guilds are going to pick the servers they're going to be on.
Oof. That's not good because then no one's going to pick one. Everyone's just going to be the chicken.
And then everybody's just going to randomly pick it at the last minute.
And then I'm going to be stuck with who I don't want to be stuck with. Miserable.
But it looks like there's going to be 10 or so servers on the West Coast, 10 or so servers on the East Coast, a European server, and an Oceanic server. Honestly, I have a pretty zippy internet connection, so playing West Coast to East Coast has never really been an issue in an MMO. Like, we're not playing first-person shooters here. You know, it's not that big a deal.
It really does not matter.
And I'm a West Coaster that kind of plays at East Coast times, so...
Because you're old, and you can't stay up late.
I'm old.
Hey, Joppa, you get me so excited about classes and abilities. When you say you're someone, I'll come and friends for me. Hey, Joppa, I hoped your words were pure gold. My broken heart is my fault, so now I carry around an extra shaker of salt. Hey, Joppa.
All right, we had, almost a little over 6 hours worth of streaming by Joppa this week. He says he's going to try to keep it to 2 streams a week for these next couple of weeks between pre-alpha and early access.
That's good for us.
Yeah, real good for us because I don't have to watch 16 hours of streaming.
Yeah, well, that'll be back soon. Don't you worry.
A lot of stuff to talk about.
Of course. We're cramming. We're in full cram mode. He's got a ton of shit to talk about.
I mean, I feel like, though, that he's back to talking about stuff that is super interesting to talk about. Don't get me wrong. It's super interesting. And we're going to talk about it. But also, there's a lot of talking about stuff that I get this feeling on the inside. I'm like, why are we talking about this stuff when we don't even have, like, zones in the game?
And they're not being tested and all that. Yeah, no, that's a great question, Draq. Great
all
question.
right, let me just get this out of the way. Let me just get this out of the way because I know you're not going to let it go.
Me?
So I would like to
hold on to a grudge? Never.
I would just like to say publicly in front of our millions of listeners,
wow,
that I was wrong.
What?
I know you're shocked. I was wrong, and that we did not get to test any of the 3 new zones that they're putting in for early access. I am shocked that that's how it went down. Dymlos was right, and I was wrong.
Well, you know, sometimes the sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while.
This is your moment, buddy. Suck it up.
I am absolutely going to take this moment and shine. Come on, Draq. We're talking crunch time, right? Like, this is not going to be ready until the day of. We'll see what happens on the 13th.
Joppa went on to discuss one of the big differences between EQ and Pantheon is this idea of diminishing returns, specifically for crowd control type spells. That EQ didn't really have that, but at least in its early form. But Pantheon is definitely going to be able to have that. One, because he doesn't want crowd control spells to be used as interrupts. That's a big distinction. He wants you have interrupt spells, you should use those, not your crowd control. Because if you can use your crowd control spells for interrupting and you save a spell slot, which are really valuable, then you would never ever use an interrupt spell because you'd always just use your crowd control. So
have to have it. The enchanters in EQ were way too overpowered. I've talked about it in a previous episode. That was the most OP class for 4 expansions because of charm and mez and clarity. So we have to have some sort of cap on what enchanters can do because it's already too much. The fact that he's talking about diminishing returns, that's great. Hopefully charm is diminishing. Hopefully mez is diminishing. We'll see what it's like when it's in. I'm excited to see what it's like.
Let me blow your mind here.
Please.
I think that there should be diminishing returns on slow. like attack slowing.
Yeah. The longer it's
like
on there,
you
you
should
break
just
out of
be
it.
able to slow something into oblivion forever.
Okay.
It's super broken.
Yeah, for sure. So you'd think they slowly come back over time. Like, so you hit them with a 30% slow, and then for every 3 seconds that passes, it's 1% less or something like that.
No, I think it should be based on how often you cast it. So if there's 4 mobs in the camp, every time you cast slow, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can cast it again.
So what would how long would it last?
I think 30 seconds between each one.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, that could be death for some, for sure.
Yeah. I think it'd be interesting. I don't know. They don't listen to me, so
yeah. I mean, clearly you didn't get exactly what you wanted out of the wizard, so they definitely don't listen to you.
It's a true story. Since I was, big enough to admit that I was wrong, Joppa was also kind of big enough to admit some mistakes that VR made.
You know what? That makes me very happy.
Does it?
Not that the mistakes were made, but they were able to own up to it. There's nothing wrong with owning up to a mistake, right? That's human. That's just human nature. This is a good thing. Showing that you are actually human. Mistakes are going to be made. That's what developing a game is all about. There's going to be a ton of mistakes. The fact that you can't just say, yeah, we messed up. It's fine. I'm more than forgiving. More than forgiving if you just say, yeah, we messed up and we're going to fix it.
I much prefer this to, no, that's the way we meant to do it.
Working as intended.
Yeah. When it's clearly not.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joppa said that the last patch in Pantheon was premature and that the main thing that it was missing was itemization, specifically with stats, because stats are now going to affect your character in huge ways. And so he's got some ways to kind of fix this. They're going to increase weapon delay, which, I don't know, kind of seemed counterintuitive to me, but I don't know. That's what he said he's going to do.
Well, that was what they were talking about in the VIP chat, right? They were talking about how everything's already at 1.8 for a dagger and 2.2 for a sword. Well, how do you get any faster? Like, it's...
all weapons. They're saying all weapons were too fast. So
everything's way too fast. So when you get a new weapon, like when you get a Fade Steel sword, it's the same delay as what you just had. So you're only increasing by 1 or 2 attack. So yeah, they want the scaling to be more significant. So when you get to a level 20 sword, there is something there for you to.
But now your rusty sword that only hits for 1 is even going to feel worse.
That. Yep. Isn't that exciting? Level 1's going to be even more difficult now. That's what we wanted. This is what we wanted. Hashtag
that's what
make Pantheon hard again.
And again, stats are now going to greatly affect the damage that you do. This is for casters. This is for healing. This is for everything. It's going to be a big deal. Joppa says that the changes that are made, so currently in the test build that he has, that nobody else has, but not seen yet, will fix many of the issues that the VIPs/tester community has been complaining about.
I hate to bring this up again,
but we can't test it. So
right. I said this in the chat of last week's episode for anyone that was paying attention. It just seems to me like we already know that there's not like a central hub or a building that they all get together, and this is not like a business setting. This is everyone's in their home, doing their own thing in their home office, working off of different patches. I feel like it's a communication thing, and they're working off their own patches, and then they update it, but forget to say, hey, you need to be working off of this patch. And so what happens is we fix a thing, we implement the patch, but the person that's working on something else doesn't have the new patch and has worked on the old patch. And so then they implement their patch and it doesn't have the current fixes in it. And so we revert back to the old patch with some new stuff. That's how it feels. When I say we're doing this 2-step forward, 3-step back thing, that's how I feel. I feel like they're all just doing their own thing. The patches are not succinct, And when someone patches something new, they repatch something old over the new thing, even though they're implementing new stuff and it breaks the old stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's too many people working on the test builds that aren't on the same thing.
Yeah. So I just feel like they're overlapping each other and breaking stuff left and right that we've already fixed. And so I feel like it's a lack of communication and organization within that. It may not be the case. I don't know. I can't prove it. I don't know anything about that stuff, but that's just how it feels to me. We really just need to circle the wagons and make sure that when we implement something, the other people that are working on it know that you've implemented this, and they need to take all the work that they've done and apply it to this new patch, not the patch that they've been currently working with.
Ugh, that sounds like that's a lot of work. Like,
well, isn't that why we
imagine if there's like 4 or 5 programmers and they're all working on stuff and to try to keep that all straight? I understand how it would be a mess.
It would be something if they were all in the same building and they could just swivel their chair around and say, "Hey, this is what I'm working on. Are we working on the same thing?
I'm updating the server."
Yep, exactly. But it's not like it's.
But I mean, how much more difficult is it to hit the Discord and be like, "Bill"?
But who looks at their text messages? Who checks their voicemails?
I mean,
who
I think
looks
if
at their
I was
Discord
working
messages?
in a remote office, I would.
Not if it's off hours. I don't know.
Oof.
I hope that that's not the case. I hope that what I am saying is not the case, but it's just how it feels to me. Who knows?
No, I get it. That's how it feels. Well, here's some happy news for you, Dymlos. This will make you happy.
Well, the whole EA thing makes me happy. I'm glad that we're finally going to open this up to the world and people get to see what we've been talking about for several years now. So
years.
Yeah, very excited about that. But I can always use more happy news, please.
Well, this will make you really happy then. Joppa said that he is adding uncommon items back into the game.
Woo-hoo!
Yes. Also, there's going to be new uncommon NPCs that are going to be added into the game. Not common and not rare, but uncommon. And these will be unique mobs, only one up at a time, that spawn at different locations in a larger area.
Very cool.
Those uncommon mobs will only drop uncommon items, and anywhere from 1 to 3. But some of the uncommon gear will be unique to the uncommon mob itself. So if you want that gear, you will have to kill that uncommon mob.
Do you think it could be like Quillmane, where they're on this like rotation but it's only all uncommon mobs, so it's all different types of Quillmanes sort of situation?
No, I think Quillmane would be considered a rare mob.
I guess
that's where Quillmane lives. I'm thinking something more like, I don't even know that EQ had anything like this now that I'm really thinking about it. I'm thinking something more along the line of like a Crusader in Kazakh, right? Except that there would only be one up at a time.
But would it always be a Crusader, or would it be like 3 different uncommon mobs that are all tied to the same spawning time?
I don't know.
But at different points.
At different points.
Yeah,
no,
that's cool.
I think that would be the way that I would do it. I think no matter how they do it, I am 100% pro this, because just having a common and a rare drop feels real bad. And just having a 1 drop on a named mob feels awful.
Super bad.
Completely awful.
Yeah.
So any amount of adding items, even if they're worthless items to mobs, I think is really good. Because, even if it's mostly worthless, it might be an upgrade for me and I might want it, right?
Exactly.
So, especially if we're making stats more important. So we want to add little drops in the game. So that'll get the economy moving. That'll get people excited that they found this thing that they've never seen and no one in the guild has ever seen. I think this is really, really, really good.
Hopefully they do like announcements to the server too, like Draq discovered the wand of intelligence.
I think we're way not ahead of yourself there.
I want that though. Joppa, take note. I know you don't listen to the show, but take note. I want that. Server announcements for discoveries.
Well, when you might get a server discovery is when you find and kill an ultra rare mob that has ultra rare items on it.
I love ultra rare stuff.
ultra rare. I don't even know what's an ultra rare mob look like.
Hopefully, honestly, Drac, hopefully they look exactly like the common mobs so that people just don't even see it. Like they just are going around and, oh, that just looks like a normal mob to me. And they run by it and it's actually super duper rare.
What was that enchanter mob for the enchanter epic that was on like a 54-hour spawn or whatever?
Kazzle?
Kazzle?
The spoon?
Was that
the
what
guy
it
that
was?
dropped the spoon?
Yeah, in Neriac, right? Wasn't it in Neriac?
No, that was Kazzle's a giant in one of the Oasis places.
No, he's definitely not that rare. I remember that guy now. No, there's a guy in Neriac.
I don't.
For the enchanter.
I never did the enchanter one, so that's one of the only ones I've
so
not
brutal.
done. Yeah.
Anyway,
or like the pipe in Kunark for the monk epic, like camping that raster for
raster?
40 plus hours for him to pop.
Yeah, 40. Yeah, raster is super nasty, but still stuff like that.
I love that. I love super. I mean, that's why we're playing Pokemon Pocket, right? We want those rare cards. Give me those. Give me those rare cards. I want super rare stuff. So yeah, no, I love talking about items,
dude.
It's the best.
So fun.
It's the best. This is
what
Pantheon's all about.
Items, yeah, ultra rare items that separates us from the noobs.
Exactly.
Right? You may have the same stats. You may have, but I've got this rare item that I camped for hours and hours and hours and hours. I did it for like weeks. Sitting there trying to get it, and I put the time in and I got it. And I know that it doesn't matter how much you paid into any game, you're never getting this item unless you put in the work like I did.
I've got an ultra rare boner right now, Draq.
Oh boy. Well, if it's good, then it just keeps getting better, because Joppa mentioned that he's going to start adding the ability. You're going to get attribute points every 3 to 4 levels as you level up in Pantheon. So You're going to be able to put points into intelligence, wisdom, charisma, whatever it is that you want to do with your character. You're going to be able to add attribute points. And I hope, this is just I'm adding this part. He didn't actually say this. But I hope you're not going to be able to reset those points.
Oh, you want it permanent?
I want it permanent. I don't want to, pay some fine and reset it. I think you should have the ability.
Cash shop bait waiting for it though, Draq.
Oh, probably is. But just my little slice of the world. I hope that they don't do that, and it's just you can gimp your character if you want to, and you can be charisma warrior, but you're gonna pay for it later.
I don't think you should pay for being charisma warrior. I think every choice that you make should give you something. Even if you are intelligence warrior, you should be able to get something out of that.
No. I mean, you just wouldn't be min-maxed.
Sure. But hopefully there's not a min-max. Wouldn't that be a wonderful dream to live in a world of Pantheon where whatever it is you choose can be the right thing in the right situation? You don't always have to be agility tank. You don't always have to be strength rogue, right? Like, or dexterity rogue, strength to do bigger backstabs. That's why you do strength. But like, I don't know. I just would like to think that no matter what you pick is the right decision. That's the world of Pantheon I want to live in.
I think you opened that up correctly when you said, I would like to dream, because that's all that is. That's just a big fat dream. That's what that is.
That's fine. I'll go back to my big Dymlos dream and I'll just be very happy with that.
Yeah, well, you do that. I'm going to live in the real world where, we min-max stuff.
Oh, yeah, where you think that they're going to let us test servers 2 weeks before they come out. Yeah, that's your real world.
I thought I owned it, and now you're going to let it go. I thought that was the progression.
No, I let things that Joppa Says go. Things that you say, I'm going to hold over your head for the rest of your life.
You know what Joppa did say that can't be misinterpreted is that he doesn't hate crafting.
You could have fooled me, Joppa. That's for sure. We put the Nerf stick, and not even the Nef stick, the Nerf stick on crafting hard on every aspect of it. And it had to be like reworked from scratch. It's craziness.
Yeah. I don't know. what Joppa did say what he didn't like about crafting is that it was way better and way easier to do crafting than it was to kill mobs, and you got way better items by doing crafting than it was to go out and do dungeon mobs, and that's not the way he wants the game to go. And so he's working with Neff. They're working on getting some rare, uncommon, one-time use crafting patterns in the game, which I think was their original solution. They just never implemented it yet. So,
well, I mean,
think
there was a lot of kickback on that. People didn't want one-time crafting patterns. You know, if you work your tail off, which at this moment it is working your tail off, especially like armor smithing.
right.
There's so many aspects. You have to talk to so many people. You got to get the leather workers on your side. You got to get the alchemists on your side to make the oils to get the recipe together. It's already super difficult to then throw in a one-time recipe would just be so impossible.
But here's the problem, and I get the piece of it. It's so hard to get there, but once you're there, then you can just pump them out.
It's true. I mean, people can just come to you with the recipe. Like, hey, if you've got a recipe, I can make it for you. I mean, that's a cool thing too. But I know that there's been kickback on it. I've read it in the Discords. I've read it in chats of Joppa streams. People are not happy about that sort of situation. And that's understandable. Like, you put in the work, you should be able to just make as many as you want. If you want to make them for all your friends, I totally get it. But I know where Joppa's coming from here, and I totally get it. The crafted armor can't be the be all end all. It makes the game too trivial for too many people too quickly. And we need to spread that along. So, I mean, the one-time patterns don't have to be ultra rare. Like, make the ultra rare ones the ones that you can put the powders into that give it a +1 or +2 to the stats.
Can I have a controversial viewpoint on this?
Of course.
And just remember, I'm not a crafting guy, so this comes not from a crafter perspective. I think in an MMO, you have to lean all the way into crafting, or you just have to cut it out. In other words, I think that if you wanted to do crafting in Pantheon and you wanted it to actually work and not be a side feature that no one ever does again, then you just have to make every time you kill a mob, they drop things that are used to be crafted into something better. There's no drops in the game that are whole.
Fair. That's a pretty good take, Draq. I would be
You
all
either
for
have
that.
to do that or you have to leave crafting out altogether. I think those are the best two options for any MMO. All right, and then the big one, and this is the one you're not gonna like.
Here we go.
Hold on to your butts. Here we go. Charm, in its initial form, is in on Joppa's test server, and he, showed it to us, and it's okay. We get a pet pop up. We were promised, like, originally that when we charm things, we were going to get to use their skills. That's not in the game. But Joppa has assured us that charisma matters. So the more charisma you have, the better your breakage for charm is. And he specifically, it was kind of funny because he specifically referenced EQ and how, if you had more charisma, you really didn't know if that made a difference or not. And, we've argued for years about whether charisma matters in charming and EQ or not. So I just found that to be extremely funny.
It'll likely be broken as all things are when they first come out, and hopefully we'll dial it back or make it stronger. Maybe they dial it too far back. It could be that.
You don't want enchanters running around with red charmed pets just clearing zones out?
Hopefully they don't have any chance to charm a red mob to them. That there should be zero chance. It shouldn't even be possible.
Joppa mentioned that corpse summoning is on its way in the game and should be there for the launch of EA. That's not new, but what is new, as he also mentioned, that summoners might actually have the summon corpse ability. How do you feel about that?
Very nice. I like that. I mean, more people need to have that because there's not always going to be a necro on per se or a necro in your group. So having more people that can do that is a good thing.
I'm kind of surprised the summoner class is still super popular.
Well, people like pets, and they don't necessarily want to be known as evil. When you have a skeleton pet, you're evil. I know not all necromancers are evil, but you do You practice the dark arts, right? Not everyone wants to practice the dark arts in their character. So now Summoner should be good. The Magician was awesome in EQ. Super boring. Probably the most boring class in EQ. But it was also super powerful and awesome. So it should be that way.
Yeah, that's why it was one of my favorites.
Yeah. And certainly not exploitable at all.
Not once. Never tried it. Joppa showed us a quick screenshot of the evil starting area. I've got that up on the screen right now. It's not really that much to look at, but what do you think about where we're going to be starting for EA?
Well, it's like you said, it's not much. It makes me a little nervous. I know that we've said that everyone's going to have a starting city, and I'm pretty sure we've heard Joppa commit to that. So hopefully that is the case. Very excited about having our own area where there's going to be faction for evil people. Very excited to never see Thronefast again because people are going to kill me there, so I'm never going to go there again. Even though it's not the most fleshed out thing ever, I'm still very excited for it.
Wait, you think they're going to have faction in for EA?
Didn't they say they were going to?
I mean, yeah, they also told us that we were going to get to test all those zones, but that
No. You are just saying what Joppa said on a stream once, which we know. We have this whole segment that says it could be gold, but it also could be a grain of salt. So you're taking it and propping it up to be gold when we know better, Draq. We have a whole segment about it. So don't believe everything he says.
I don't know. I think you might eat your words when it comes to faction on the launch of EA.
If I'm as a Dark Myr able to walk into Thronefast and not get murdered, it's going to be a little upsetting. There's guards at the edge of Thronefast too. They should kill me. If I'm walking past that, they should absolutely be coming after me.
I mean, we have had that in the past. I am old enough to remember when guards would kill you as evil races.
Yeah, remember when ogres started in the good city?
I played an ogre wizard and I got murdered everywhere.
As soon as you instantly popped in at level 1, oh, you're an ogre. I don't care that you're a wizard. You're dead now. Hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Oh, that was so funny. And you couldn't even see the guards because the server was acting up. So you couldn't even see what was killing you. That was a great pre-alpha day.
From the SGL Action News Desk, this is MMO News, featuring your anchors, Draq and Dymlos.
Okay, this is the biggest news of the week. And I mean big. Star Citizen passes $750 million in funding. Are you kidding me, Draq? $750 million people have pledged to this game, and it's not any better than where Pantheon is sitting at.
Could we just peel off 15 or so million for Pantheon? Yeah. I mean, they could hire 45 people with 50 million.
Where is this money coming from? Who is backing this game? Is it Elon Musk himself?
It's all FOMO. Have you seen the packages? You can spend $50,000 on a starship. It's ridiculous. $48,000 is the biggest package that you can buy. The Star Citizens Legatus 2953 package includes 175 different vessels. Different vessels will set buyers back an eye-watering $48,000, according to GameRant.com.
Who the fuck has $48,000 to put into a game? My God, you whales. Why can't Pantheon get 2 of these whales? Just 2. And I think we'd be good. Oh, this is unbelievable.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so nuts. I cannot believe that. But it's multiple ships too, right? They're getting all the ships.
Yeah, it's a pack of ships. But still, one chunk, $48,000.
That's so crazy. So still, most of the ships are still reasonable, but you only get one. This 48,000 thing is all of the ships.
You get a fleet.
Yeah. No, that's That's cool. I'll never have that. Oh my God. I'll never be able to put $48,000 into a game. But I know it exists because gotcha games do that stuff all the time to whales. Like they gotcha and you're 48,000 deep before you even know it. That's a scary thought.
I mean, we know people that have probably spent like 3 or 4 million in Pokemon. Oh, never mind.
Random Rob. Oops.
We only going up and up. The community is all together. The come up is different from here to a furnace. I'm a legend on a rise. Got a nat 20, yeah, no roll twice. I've got the dogma in me. Yo, shout out to my peeps. Let's go. Welcome to the show. You already know. Make it real stuffed. I'm God. Sushi on my mind. The $8 kind. We're gonna party all night. Welcome to the show. Ready, set, go. Supernovas on sight. Take a look at me. I'm a 1, 2, 3. Hit it, monkey. This is round 2, do the wasteland, go crazy, make a mess. Call me the ghoul, all unless you in search for the EverQuest. Some might say that it's the best, but just like me and you, I'd rather be the Diablo in the room. Call this my exit interview. Welcome to the show, you already know. Make it real stuffed, I'm God. Sushi on my mind, the $8 kind. We're gonna party all night. Welcome to the show, ready, set, go. Supernovas on sight. Take a look at me, I'm a 1, 2, 3, hit it, monkey. Draq, I'm so disappointed in you.
Luckily, every week I dominate this list and just destroy Dymlos.
3.
I thought you would just tuck your head between,
No
your butt
way!
cheeks.
No, my list is
And
amazing.
It's not at all.
2.
Already your list is the worst. Your list is the worst.
1.
Dymlos, this top 5 was way more controversial than I thought it was going to be.
OMG, Draq. We had to change the name of this top 5 3 different times because of the uproar in our Patreon Discord chat.
I would say revolt that happened.
Straight up revolt.
Straight up
Everyone was
revolt.
just like, I'm not doing this unless we change the rules. Are you kidding me? I get that you people pay us money, and by you people, I mean our 4 Patreon subscribers that pay for this tier. We really appreciate you. And if you want into this, you don't have to necessarily be in Patreon anymore. YouTube can support it now too. There is a raid tier for our YouTube subscribers that can now also get into this channel too. So don't feel like you have to sign up for Patreon, though we'd like you to, because I think we get more of that money. I don't know how any of that works. Anyway.
You're gonna cut all that out.
Anyway, we had to change this name so many times because people went crazy over it. And that's fine. I like the passion. I'm pretty passionate too, especially when it comes to this particular subject. But to be able to incorporate something that everyone would do,
dude.
Oh,
this got more passion than transmog. Let's just put it that way. Like,
for sure,
people were up in arms.
Okay,
friendships were on the line.
I nearly stuck my foot up Archbishop's ass because of this. So, just to catch people up.
Yes, let's tell them what the original topic was that I stuck to.
So we started out not knowing, like we always do, the day before what we're going to do, and splashing it on the Patreon people literally less than 48 hours before we do the recording.
Because that's how we do
guys.
them.
Sorry. It's just, after we get done recording these things, you want to forget about it for a little while because this actually takes a lot of work. If you think that Draq and I just ripped this on a whim, that's not at all the case. There's a lot of planning and a lot of work that goes into making sure that these episodes are good for you all.
Dymlos has to work out 4,281 mouse clicks every time they do an episode.
That is an accurate statement. And door slams. Don't forget door slams. Draq's kids are clearly angry all the time and cannot close a door or speak in a normal voice volume at any time. So yes, it does take forever to take care of these things. But also the work that you put into on your side, putting the graphics in, putting the show together itself. I just do the audio editing. I put a lot of hours into it, but you put just as many hours into it. So I feel like we're equivalent now. Anyway, we're getting way off topic. So 48 hours before we are doing this right now, we are like, what are we going to do for a top 5? And so I'm just like, food's always a good option. How about top 5 favorite Pop-Tart flavors? And so Draq's like, yep, I love it. And
great topic, Dymlos.
Totally
amazing
great
topic.
Absolutely.
I think it's 100% a winner.
I completely agree too. I love Pop-Tarts. One of my favorite things to eat. But we throw it in the chat and instantly Archbishops is like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. I don't even like Pop-Tarts. And it's just like, who doesn't like Pop-Tarts? Now, don't get me wrong.
Crazy Town, right?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's not the be all end all of pastries that come out of the toaster. Not even close. They're basic. It is what it is. But they're still sugary and delicious. What's your problem? Eat a damn Pop-Tart. It's not that difficult. But no, he was out. And then Screech laughs at us because I'm telling Archbishops to just shut up and do it. And he laughs at us. And then Zip comes in and is like, I'm out on this one too. And it's just like, what is this revulsion going on that you can't even list your top 5 favorite Pop-Tarts? Who doesn't eat Pop-Tarts? They're so good.
Well, in Screech's defense, I think that the only kind of quote Pop-Tart that he ever had was like jelly on toast. I think that was as close as he ever got to a Pop-Tart.
Well, that's just because he's 94 years old. So that's a different story. So I get it. But the other two have certainly had Pop-Tarts in their lives. Yeah, I get Zip as a chef. And yes, we did confirm that after the Thanksgiving episode, we did confirm that Zip is an actual chef. Yeah, that's what he does for a living.
He's a little hoity-toity with the food stuff.
No joke. So instead of Pop-Tarts, we then were like, okay, well, how about just toaster pastries? And that was not acceptable.
Not good enough.
And so we have
soundly and angrily.
A revolt again. So then I'm like, all right, well, we'll just make this as ambiguous as we possibly can. And now we have the top 5 4-sided breakfast consumables. That's where we landed on. That's the title of this top 5.
I didn't know that we could go woke.
We totally did
with the top 5, but I feel like this
is the most woke top 5 of any top 5 we've ever done.
We have offended no one with 4-sided breakfast consumables.
Absolutely. So here we go. Here are our top 5 4-sided breakfast consumables. Draq, give me your number 5.
Well, I would just like to also state that for the first time ever, Dymlos and I are now united in our top 5. Because we've been attacked.
Totally attacked.
So it's just going to be a bad week for the Patreons, and it's going to be a good week for us because we're going to win together because we are going to be the only ones that actually have the heart of what this originally was.
Absolutely. And I'm going to blast all three of these lists hard. Hard. So get ready, Patreon members. Your shit's about to get roasted. All right.
Roasted.
Number 5, Draq.
Number 5 is, of course, Frosted Hot Fudge Sundae Pop-Tarts. Yum. Like, you got the chocolate, you got the ice cream flavor, you got that all mixed together. And as you know from the ice cream selection, that I love me some chocolate and vanilla.
Well, Draq, I love your choice here. Pop-Tarts are wonderful. I love Pop-Tarts. So I'm glad that you, and I appreciate you for sticking to the original Pop-Tart theme. Although I didn't. I decided to kind of throw it out there and go with the 4-sided breakfast consumables. So mine are going to be a little different than yours. So this week you get a pass. Draq, your list is going to be whatever you've put here on this list. I'm all for. So hot fudge sundae Pop-Tarts, delicious, especially because they're frosted. That's the most important part.
Amazing.
Yep.
Like, I feel if you're not eating frosted Pop-Tarts, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, total waste. You should only be eating frosted Pop-Tarts. Anything dry, well, they are technically all dry, but anything without frosting on top is just a waste of calories.
Dude, you're going to eat all those calories and have all that sugar, and you're not going to do the frosting? Ugh.
Yeah, you're just torturing yourself, really. It's not fair. You deserve better. Eat a frosted Pop-Tart.
100%. What about your number 5?
So, like I said, mine are going to be more towards the 4-sided breakfast consumables. So my number 5 are Little Debbie glazed donut sticks. I love these things. And I don't know why I love them because they are the cheapest, crappiest thing that you can buy at a gas station. But for whatever reason, the cheapness of the glaze on this and the consistency of the donut stick, for whatever reason, comes together in this ultimate package of carbohydrates. I love these things. I can't eat more than a package because if I did, I would just vomit because they're so
You would dwimble? Is that what you're trying to say?
I would,
you would
absolutely dwimble all over these things for more than one package. So, but these things are so good. And especially if, like, I don't know if you like coffee or not, Draq, but these are absolutely dippable in your coffee and make them even more delicious. So yeah, number 5, Little Debbie glazed donut sticks.
Great pick, because there is nothing bad that comes from Little Debbie.
You're right.
Everything that Little Debbie does is amazing. And if you can work Little Debbie into your breakfast, like, points for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Draq, you're number 4.
All right, we are back with Pop-Tarts, and now we're going to go with the frosted chocolatey chip pancake Pop-Tarts.
Oh, here we go again. All the chocolate
amazing.
chips.
Chocolate chip.
So many chocolate chips.
What is not to like here? We got pancakes, we got chocolate chips, and we got Pop-Tarts.
It's so good.
Amazing.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. I don't know if I've actually had this particular flavor. So it's interesting that there is a chocolate chip pancake Pop-Tart. I'll have to be on the lookout for that one.
They're amazing. You need to try it.
All right. I will be on the lookout. I am always on the lookout for interesting flavors. Like they came out with a banana bread one recently for a limited time that was super delicious. So I'm always on the hunt for interesting flavors of Pop-Tarts, that's for sure.
All right. What about your number 4?
Okay, number 4, 4-sided breakfast consumable for me are frosted strawberry mini wheats. I also like the regular frosted mini wheats, but I like strawberry, as we remember from our ice cream episode, top 5 episode. I like strawberry, and the strawberry mini wheats to me are superior. It gives me an extra flavor along with the frosting. It makes the milk strawberry at the end, and they're just super sweet and delicious. They're frosted mini wheats. What's not to love?
I promised that I wasn't going to make fun of your list. So I'm just not going to comment on this one. And we're just going to move to my number 3.
All right, Draq, number 3.
Number 3 is a frosted chocolate chip Pop-Tart. So it's not a frosted chocolate chip pancake Pop-Tart. It is just a frosted chocolate chip Pop-Tart.
Oh,
So chocolate chip ice cream rather than chocolate chip pancake.
oh, so different. Just
Yes, so
the
different.
most different thing you could possibly. And like you didn't make fun of mine, I am in turn not going to make fun of your list
You
this
are
week
so
either.
generous. So generous.
Yes,
sir.
because I could. Because there's a lot to make fun of here. But I also respect your list, Draq, for its entirety. So
this is what happens when the Patreons gang up on us.
you're going to revolt, you assholes. You're going to get it.
How about your number 3? Let's have a Pop-Tart from you.
Thank you for segueing into my only Pop-Tart that made this list, which is surprising because I love Pop-Tarts. But my number 1 Pop-Tart is the cinnamon sugar Pop-Tart. Of course, it's frosted, but I wanted to bring up how I eat these Pop-Tarts. And Drac, if you could pop up the graphic that I sent you. Perfect. So even on the side of the Pop-Tart box, they describe the multiple ways you can eat a Pop-Tart. You can put it in the toaster traditionally. You can just eat it right out of the bag if you want to. Wonderful. They even have one where you can stack the 2 different flavors of Pop-Tart together. Like you get, I don't know, a chocolate chip pancake Pop-Tart and a chocolate chip Pop-Tart and put them together.
Whoa.
Just mind blown. Just total chocolate chip explosion.
Don't be going crazy. Like you're like, that's crazy town. That's, I don't know.
I know.
Smoking some kind of illegal drug while doing that or something.
I've completely blown Drac's mind right now. But the way that I like to eat Pop-Tarts is that number 4 that's on there. I stick the entire box in the freezer, and it is a frozen treat for me. Even if I'm eating it for quote unquote breakfast, I still like them frozen. So good. Try it, especially the cinnamon sugar ones. Do yourself a favor. Stick something in the freezer and give it a shot, and it's a refreshing, sugary treat that will rock your world.
You've told me about this before, and I've never done it. I've been in rebellion, so I have to repent because now I see what rebellion does from the Patreon. So now I'm going to have to go try a frozen Pop-Tart.
Do it. It'll change your world.
I do like cinnamon sugar, though. I think that that's an honorable mention on my list.
Good.
But there's no chocolate in it, so
Fair.
It can't be in the top.
Fair. Well, speaking of chocolate, let's hear your number 2.
Number 2 is frosted chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts.
Oh, good. Frosted chocolate fudge.
Yes. Extremely different from all the other Pop-Tarts.
Certainly completely different than the frosted hot fudge sundae Pop-Tarts.
Completely different. You know, the hot fudge sundae ones have sprinkles on it. The hot fudge chocolate fudge ones do not have sprinkles. That's a major difference.
Gotcha. Well, honestly, Drac, these are the ones that you should put in the freezer. If the fudge Pop-Tarts are absolutely wonderful. Also, the cookies and cream ones, those are another really, really good one. They just taste like cookies and cream ice cream coming out of the freezer. It's wonderful.
What about you? Number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 on this list, we're going away from sweets altogether. This is the bacon and sausage toaster scramble from Pillsbury. So very similar to what a toaster strudel is like. But this is, instead of it being, sugar or cream or anything like that, it's just eggs, bacon, and sausage and cheese. So more on the savory side of your toaster strudel scramble pastry breakfast, four-sided breakfast consumable. So yeah, number 2, the bacon and sausage toaster scramble from Pillsbury. Have you ever had one of those, Drag?
I have never had one, but it sounds amazing.
It is quite amazing. The biggest thing to make sure is that it's done. Do not eat this thing while it's still frozen. And it can be tricky because the outside will look like it's getting a little burnt, but you need to let that skin burn. It's totally fine.
I found out a secret from watching a short the other day about cooking your food in the microwave.
Oh, yeah?
You're not supposed to put your food in the middle of the microwave.
What?
You're supposed to put it on the edge so it goes around the circle and gets evenly cooked.
I thought just spinning it in the center got it.
No, it's a real thing. And so if you put your frozen sandwich on the outside, that makes it so it cooks the entire sandwich evenly. Whereas if you put it in the middle, then like whatever's in the middle of that sandwich is still going to be frozen, but then the bread on the outside is going to be super overcooked and hot, right?
I'm going to need some science on this, because isn't what a microwave does just heat up the water molecules in the thing and
but
cook it that way?
But it's also designed the thing to rotate around the circle. That's why the thing spins in the microwave, right? That's why it goes around in a circle. But if you just have it sitting in the middle, it's not actually rotating around in a circle. It's just spinning. It's not moving around.
But aren't there microwaves that don't have that spinning disc feature to them?
I don't know.
We may need a scientist. Do we know any scientists?
No, here's all I have to say.
Science is a lie.
Here's all I have to say is I tried it.
Okay.
And it absolutely freaking works.
Okay.
Like, because my wife gets these little like McDonald-esque, breakfast sandwiches, right?
Sure.
And you put them in the microwave, you heat them up for 45 seconds, and then you're supposed to be able to eat them. But it's always the same thing. The egg in the middle is frozen. And it sucks. But then I watched that short, and then I put it on the very edge of the microwave spinny thing on the inside and let it go. And I'll be darned, that egg is the perfect temperature, and the whole thing is delicious.
Okay. Well, I actually, as soon as we're done recording, I've got one of those breakfast sandwiches in my freezer right now.
Yeah.
I will go do it and see how it works.
You got to try it. Let the chat know this Saturday if that worked.
I will.
We will be the science. We are the science.
To the science!
To the science!
I love it. All right, Draq. Well, now that we've had this science lesson, how about you give me that number one?
Number one, completely different than everything else, is frosted s'mores Pop-Tarts. Because the marshmallow is 100% different.
Changes the whole ordeal.
Than the vanilla. That white cream that is marshmallow is
Draq.
100% different than the vanilla in the sundae or the chocolate chip.
If we would have just stuck to a Pop-Tart list, people would be blowing you up right now. I can see Churro Dude just absolutely roasting this whole list that you've made.
Luckily for me that we have a truce this week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Churro doesn't have the truce with you.
Yeah,
just
I'm
me.
sure Churro's probably blowing me up.
Yeah, but whatever Churro is saying right now is likely what I'm thinking right now. So anyway, great list, Draq.
Thank you very
fantastic list. 5 very different things that you've put on the list.
Hugely different.
Definitely not the same thing 5 times over.
What about your number one? Let's bring it home.
All right, Draq, here we go. Number one 4-sided breakfast consumable is the strawberry and cream cheese toaster strudel. OMG. If you're eating one of these Pillsbury toaster strudels, so this is the rival to the Pop-Tart, and ultimately the whole reason why we couldn't even do a list of Pop-Tarts is because the existence of the toaster strudel is the best of them. If you are not eating these things with the cream cheese in the middle, like if you're just eating the straight strawberry toaster strudel and putting the frosting on top of it, you are not living. The cream cheese must be in every one. It doesn't matter what fruit flavor, what any flavor you have. The cream cheese has to be in the middle. Blueberry cream cheese, strawberry cream cheese, whatever, cream cheese has to be in the middle with the frosting on top of it. That is the most superior current toaster strudel. Now, before we talk about this, before I get your opinion on it, Draq, I did want to throw an honorable mention out there. Just like with the ice cream episode, with the oatmeal fudge chunk Ben & Jerry's flavor that I gave honorable mention to, there is also a toaster strudel that I have to give honorable mention to because it is no longer made. But there at one point was a Boston cream pie Pillsbury toaster strudel, and it was unbelievably amazing. I don't know if you like Boston cream or not, but this was by far way better than the strawberry and cream cheese one. Don't get me wrong.
What flavors are in Boston cream pie?
Well, chocolate and Bavarian, of course.
Yeah. It's pretty close.
The best. Yeah. So that was the number one toaster strudel, but since it's not made anymore, we're stuck with strawberry and cream cheese. And by stuck with, I mean this is the greatest breakfast invention of all time. I get it. Pop-Tarts are less superior to these toaster strudels. The toaster strudel is completely delicious, but they're a pain in the ass. I can't just rip one out of the box. I have to commit, 5 to 10 minutes in the production of these things. I got to put them in the toaster. I got to wait 5 minutes there. I got to carefully cut the ice cream packet so that it doesn't just one big glob and I have to then spread it with a knife and waste the frosting. You want it to look nice. You want the presentation of the toaster strudel takes time. Sometimes I don't want that, archbishops. I just want a damn Pop-Tart that I can just grab out of the freezer and rip into right away. Okay? That's why you eat a Pop-Tart instead of a toaster strudel. It's not that they're not superior. It's just they're so inconvenient. When Pop-Tarts are convenient.
Boom.
So have you had these toaster strudels, Draq?
No.
Oh.
I'm just a poor guy with, 100 kids. I can't afford toaster strudels.
Yeah, they don't come in family packs, 32 pack of Pop-Tarts.
If it doesn't come in something like a 54 count, then I'm not even going to get any anyway because all my kids are going to eat them.
Exactly. Jeez, archbishops. Don't you have any children? Just kidding. I know he does that. Do that joke at him just for fun. All right, Draq. Well, our lists are great. We have done just a phenomenal job.
I would say MVP like.
Yeah, for sure. Our lists, it's not even 1 and 2. It's 1A and 1A.
You can't see it, but I'm holding up a lighter and also singing We Are the Champion.
Oh, I love it. I'm running up the stairs of Philadelphia and doing the Rocky fist pumps in the air after we completed that list. It was a climb, but we saw the top of the mountain, climbed it, are at the peak together. We're just cheering each other on, just in pure Rewind love. I love
Such
it.
harmony. Such harmony.
So good. Okay, Patreon, here we go. Are you ready? Because now it's time to rock your world. Okay, so Draq, if you could pop up the list of this just drivel.
I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay. Thank you. So we're going to start off with, I really want to blast Archbishops first. So, because he's the whole component to this thing. And so he gets the worst of it. I want to make sure that all of these things that he lists here get blasted because other Patreon members list the same thing. And I don't want to blast them as hard because Archbishops brought this upon himself. So let's go number 5. Just toaster strudel. You didn't even pick a toaster strudel. And on top of that, you put it at number 5. We couldn't even do this because of the existence of toaster strudels. And yet you put it at number 5. Unfucking believable, Archbishops. I cannot believe that you completely blew up this list to just throw it at number 5 like it's a throwaway 4-sided breakfast consumable. You asshole. How dare you?
With no flavor.
Didn't even put a specific flavor.
Strudel.
What is this? You just get, is this like Dymlos' number 3 of guild functions? You just can throw them all together in one and you get your thing?
I'm surprised you didn't list them afterwards. Just
yeah, here's all my favorite toaster strudels in a row. No, Archbishops, this isn't top 15 4-sided breakfast consumables. It's one and done. You get one choice and you put all toaster strudels. And it's not even necessarily Pillsbury toaster strudels. It could be the Walmart of toaster strudels and you're putting it at your number 5. How am I to know? Because you just list toaster strudels? Way to put in effort for this one, Archbishops. Okay, number 4, toaster scramble. Okay, so I had this on my list too, and it was my number 2. Your number 5 was my number 1, and your number 4 was my number 2. What on earth could be better than these 4-sided breakfast consumables?
But
Nothing.
he also didn't pick a flavor. There's
Again,
bacon ones and sausage ones.
Just like, egg and cheese? We'll never know. Again, is it the Walmart toaster scramble? We will never know. Because if he even comes back and lists this after he listens to this episode, I'm just going to delete it. Whatever you put in the chat, I'm just going to delete. Okay, so now that we've established that the thing that he fought for is his number 5 and number 4,
my
his
goodness.
3, 2, and 1 better be effing believable. So let's see.
I think you're in for massive disappointment.
Oh, I know I am because I'm looking at it. So number 3, literal bread.
Literal bread
/ toast. What? How is literal bread better than a toaster strudel? Are you kidding me, Archbishops? This is the most unbelievable troll list you have ever made, and this is like your 3rd list, and you have already hit the peak of troll lists. I can't believe that you could possibly put bread as number 3. This is like making water a snack. You idiot. Oh my God. Okay, so going up from bread to number 2, avocado toast. You basic bitch. Are you kidding me? This is what you go to eat at a fancy white person breakfast place. Avocado toast. Get your pumpkin spice latte out. Pinkies up. Get your avocado toast that you paid $14.99 for to get some avocado toast. That's your number 2. I even like avocado toast. I actually like it and order it at places and make it myself. I will cut up an avocado and put it on my toast because, yes, I like pumpkin spice lattes and basic things like avocado toast. But is this going on my top 5? Hell no. Number 2, Archbishops. Unbelievable. I am so heated from this list. I cannot even fathom this list right now. This number 1 better be the greatest breakfast consumable of all time. Are you kidding me? McDonald's hash brown? Don't get me wrong. I am a huge fan of McDonald's breakfast. I am one of the people that beg McDonald's for breakfast all day. But have you looked at this hash brown, Archbishops? It's an oval. It only has one side, you idiot. It's not a 4-sided breakfast consumable. Oh my God, this whole list is out of whack. I just delete this list. Just take his list up. Your whole list is absolute bunk trash. Draq, what I want you to do right now is completely delete his list off. I don't want the people seeing his list on the screen anymore. It's so bad. Okay, good. I need to breathe. I need to not look at this list. I need to take a little bit of a tilt break.
Your blood pressure's getting up there again, buddy.
I'm surprised I haven't had a heart attack right now out of this list. It's unbelievable. All right. Well, let's move on to Screech. Hopefully, this is going to redeem it. Okay, number 5, cantaloupe cubes. Oh, cantaloupe is so gross. I actually, in fact, hate all melon. There are minimal foods that I will not eat, but melon. And that includes watermelon. All gross. They all are disgusting.
Not my favorite. And
the
cantaloupe
texture's
is
gross.
the worst. Cantaloupe is the worst.
Oh, by far. It's sticky. It smells bad. It tastes bad. The texture's awful. Everything about cantaloupe, even the color orange that the cantaloupe is gross. I hate it. So your number 5, bunk. Number 4, we've already established, is not 4-sided. It is an oval. Which is technically one-sided is the shape. So bunk. Number 3, oatmeal breakfast bar.
If you're top 5?
Are you kidding? That's the flavor of breakfast bar that you chose to put in your top 5?
Just oatmeal.
There are so many breakfast bars out there that are so delicious. And you put oatmeal, just standard golden oatmeal. And I even like oatmeal breakfast bars.
Just a Quaker's Oat oatmeal breakfast bar regular.
Get your Quakers ready because here we are eating some oatmeal breakfast bars. We don't even have like a nice fruit with it. It's not frosted. It's just like you might as well just crack open Quaker oatmeal like in the round tube that it comes in and just start chugging it dry. Don't even cook it up. That's what you're eating here in this oatmeal breakfast bar. Get out. Oh, this is awful. Number 2, again with the toast. Toast with butter? That's it? Not even like peanut butter, maybe some avocado. But this is number 2. Again with the number 2 toast. What is going on with these lists? Are they all here to troll us? Did all three of these lists, they all trolling us?
I think they did. I think this was just a troll week, a further demonstration of the raid team rebellion.
I can't believe this.
Everybody gets a negative 50 DKP minus.
Absolutely. This is unbelievable. Last but not least, Screech is number 1. Bear Claw. Okay, this is actually a good choice. I actually like Bear Claws a whole lot. There's cinnamon, there's sugary, there's frosting. You can make all sorts of Bear Claws, any certain flavor.
You get a mini pass.
Tiny
also,
mini pass.
Maybe a possible future top 5 is top 5
top
donuts.
5. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Screech. Well, I don't hate
Slightly
your list.
redeemed.
Yeah, not really. Like you still put an oval on a 4-sided breakfast
and
consumable
toast.
list and toast. Yeah, what are you kidding? With just butter, like not even peanut butter or honey or Nutella or anything delicious. Anyway, okay, Zip, please, for the love of God, please, Zip, bring us home with your list. Number 5, Pop-Tarts. Again, why you don't just get all the Pop-Tarts? Are you eating all the Pop-Tarts at once? Is it...
Maybe he's stacking them, like you said. He just stacks them all up and takes a bite.
Is this including non-frosted Pop-Tarts? Because then you're just doing yourself a disservice.
Oh,
right. Like this is the all-encompassing of all of it.
Yeah, he doesn't specify anything. Oh. Not even... even if you would have put frosted Pop-Tarts, at least that would have been something.
Yeah, right? And then number 4, Toaster Strudel. Again, all the Toaster Strudels. How have we gotten to a place where we do not list specifically what we're talking about in a top 5? It blows my mind. Maybe I got away with the guild thing.
I think
set
you
the
can
precipice.
only look at yourself here because you totally brought this on yourself. You have encouraged it, and now the Patreons are running wild with it.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to crack the whip on next week. That's for sure. So, all right. Well, so far so terrible. And then once again, the McDonald's hash brown comes out. Have you eaten clearly the 3 of you have not had a McDonald's hash brown ever. Because it has never changed since 1940, whatever, or 20, whenever McDonald's happened. It has never been 4-sided. It has always been an oval. It has always been the oval shape. So you clearly don't even know what the McDonald's hash brown even looks like. Are you just shoving it in your pie hole? Like you're just taking it right out of the bag, not even looking at it, eating the wrapper and everything? Just shoving it down? Is that what's going on?
Maybe they're just looking at the wrapper because the wrapper is kind of square. So maybe we're just going with that.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, moving on. Number 2. Here comes avocado toast again. Everyone put their number 2 as some sort of toast. It's just bread. There's nothing to it. You're putting a little vegetable fat on it with the avocado. Okay, I like the taste of avocado too, but in my top 5, get out. There are so many better flavors than avocado, and I love avocado. I like guac. Remember I made guacamole deviled eggs from our Thanksgiving episode. I mentioned that on our Thanksgiving episode. Like I like avocado, but this is unbelievable. Like these lists are unbelievable. Luckily, Zip, his number 1 is, and I love how no one in our Discord see this, but you can flash this up here, Jack, if you want to, this graphic of the pain du chocolat. Like, I don't know what chocolate bread is. Bread with chocolate. Like, I've been to France. I took French in high school. I know that pain is bread. Du is with, technically not with is avec, but du with, chocolat. I get it. So
wait, I got, are these squares?
I mean, technically it is a 4-sided breakfast consumable.
Are there 4 sides? 4?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
It's rounded, isn't it?
Well,
round?
I mean, it's still a side. It still has 4 sides to it just because it's, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's made in a bread pan, which, like a loaf pan. So it's definitely 4-sided. It definitely has a bottom and a top and 2 sides. It's more rectangle, but yeah, pain de chocolat, chocolat. Sorry, let me get my French. Yeah,
chocolat.
No, it's pain de chocolat. Yeah, that's all the French you're getting out of me today. Delicious, and I did have this when I was over in France. It is absolutely wonderful. They make some of the best bread. Oh, so good. So good choice. Small redemption, just like Screech's Bear Claw. But you guys, I just am so disappointed. I'm disappointed in our Patreon. They're probably all going to quit their subscriptions. Hopefully they all took it with a lightheartedness, which is what this was. So I am not worked up. I'm not having an aneurysm over here. I just wanted to make sure that I took an extra shit on their list today for their revulsion of our top 5 Pop-Tart list. Love you guys. Thanks for all you do for us.
Before you leave, we've one final word. Before you've forgotten all that you've heard, there is a moment evergreen. Stay here a while and listen to me.
All right, Dymlos. We got one more rewind with no actual Pantheon happening. So do you think we're going to have enough news to fill up next week?
Well, if Joppa has only 6 hours of stream, we'll find a way. I mean, we filled this one up with only 6 hours of stream. So, maybe we bust out Moria again. Maybe we make an extra spicy top 5 list to fill in the time. But no, we'll be fine. I'm more worried about what footage you're going to use. Are you just going to use old footage of you running around?
You know what? I was actually smart. And before the servers dropped, I hopped on and did a little...
Look at you.
Running around with a baby summoner killing stuff. So I have some brand new footage for next week.
Look at you.
I
just planning ahead.
Thinking ahead.
I love it. I'm so proud of you for that.
Yeah.
Good job. This has just been for you and I, it's been a very pleasurable episode. And I'm glad that we've come together and see eye to eye. And, we're like a Goofy movie.
Next. I can't even think of how this song goes right now.
Seeing it eye to eye. Yeah, buddy. Maybe that's our next top 5 is top 5 Disney movies of all time, because I know we will have the exact same number 1. Spoiler alert, it's the Goofy movie. If you've not seen the Goofy movie, it's the greatest Disney movie of all time. By far, bar none, no movie will ever be superior to the Goofy movie.
100%.